Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, the elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. To the men on the highways and the byways that are pushing out this word in truth and sincerity. And to the remnant men, women, and children of the elect, to you all, I say Shalom. My name is Ahmawan Ahyash, and I'm back with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh by Shai, Lord willing. This lesson is edifying. And unless you've been under a rock somewhere, as the saying goes, and haven't noticed what's going on in the news and with the inner cities and amongst Jake, all right? Jake and Esau, here we go again, Trump, your president, DJ Trump, okay, has ordered a nationwide crackdown in Washington, D.C. and other parts of the country, okay? Namely parts where so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans reside, in the hood, all right? And he's masking it under some under the narrative of this is going to be a nationwide crime crackdown, okay? And if you haven't been paying attention to the prophets, to the men of the Lord, you're not going to see this for what it actually is. You're not going to see it for what it actually is. All right? Because that relationship between Esau, Edom, and Jacob and Israel, okay, that's coming to the forefront. All right? If you haven't been listening to the prophets, if you haven't been taking heed to an event called Jacob's trouble, you're not going to take this for what it is. All right? But Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi has given us the eyes to see and the ears to hear, and it's given us the inside scoop, so to speak. All right? This man is not going to be able to trick the men of the Lord. We see him coming a mile away. We're just waiting for him to come down, to bring that hammer down. All right? We know who this man is. We know what he represents. We know that the Heavenly Father has created this man to be exactly what he has been in the earth. Okay? Which is the hammer. Real quick before I get started, that just made me think of, right? Because Esau, Edom is nothing but the Heavenly Father's whooping stick. And once his lot is fulfilled, he won't be needed in the earth anymore. Okay? Proverbs 16:4 says, the Lord, Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, have made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. Okay? Even the wicked. And the wicked represents Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right? So let's not make any mistake about what we're dealing with. The thing about it is that, what pisses me off is that, Jake, our people, you got so much shit to say. You talk so much shit about Trump, right? And how much you don't like him and this, that, and the third. And he's this, that, and the third. He's a racist, whatever. But y'all not really using that energy for what it needs to be. Right? What it needs to be used for. Right? You act like you know who he is. You act like you know what he represents. But you refuse to listen and hearken to the prophets who are telling you that these are Edomites. The so-called white man is the Edomite. It's not just Donald Trump, is the point I'm trying to make. You claim to know who Donald Trump is. You claim to know that he ain't right. Well, guess what? None of them are right. They come from the seed line of the descendants of Edom. Esau, Edom. That's who they are. And the Lord have made this nation of people to play the role of the wicked in the earth. Okay? The Lord hath made all things for himself, yet even the wicked for the day of evil. And that day of evil is approaching, is upon us. Okay? And it's really upon those of you who are not in the know. 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Because when Jacob trouble come, you may not know now, but you're going to know very, very, very soon. You will know who this man is. You will know who what he represents. Because all that tap dancing around, Jake, and tap dancing around you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, with that judgment, that's going to be over. It's going to be over real soon. Okay? And while we at it, while we on Esau, Job 9:24 says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who has the power right now? Esau, Edom has the power. All right? He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Who is he? Who's the wicked? If it's not the so-called white man. Who is the wicked? All right? We ain't sugarcoating nothing when it comes to this man, yo. All right? Malachi 1:1. The burden of the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein thou hast loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. Right? And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. They shall cast them. And they shall call them the border of wickedness. Okay, so Esau, Edom's the border of wickedness. Once you identify who Esau, Edom is, you'll understand who the wicked is. All right, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So the Lord got smoke with Esau, Edom. He got smoke with the so-called white man. All right. And this right here is a prelude to what's about to happen. All right. So I'm going to read this CNN.com, slacking for the rent. Right. But, and the men of the Lord are excited about the times that we're in. We're excited about the possibilities of what could be right around the corner, what could be knocking at the door, which is Jacob's trouble. All right. It says, Trump has suggested a nationwide crime crackdown. Here's what he can do outside of D.C. It says, the D.C. National Guard began appearing in the nation's capital on Tuesday after President Donald Trump announced a day earlier he is deploying Guard troops and placing Washington, D.C.'s police department under direct federal control. So Donald Trump has federalized the D.C. police, okay, and took him under his control, citing a public safety emergency after an assault on a former government worker. The D.C. National Guard reports only to the President of the United States. The city's status as a district, not a state, allows the president and in turn the federal government more leeway in directing troops and a range of federal authorities. Trump's additional move to take over the D.C. Police Department draws on the sweeping but temporary powers granted under the Home Rule Act of 1973. Slack, I had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Where was I at? It says, Trump's additional move to take over the D.C. Police Department draws on the sweeping but temporary powers granted under the Home Rule Act of 1973, a law that balances local self-governance with federal oversight in the Capitol, while the president can assume control of the police department for up to 30 days with congressional notice. Any request to control it for longer must be passed into law. Now, this is what a part I wanted to get to. Trump's announcement on Monday came after the assault of a 19-year-old former Department of Government efficiency worker during an attempted carjacking on August 3rd. Yeah, right. Okay? Donald Trump ain't call this into play because of no carjacking that happened to a 19-year-old. All right. It says while Trump has repeatedly criticized what he described as the surge in violent crime in Washington, overall crime numbers this year are lower than last year. And there's a lot of people bringing out truth according to those numbers. That crime is down in D.C. and in certain cities. But this ain't about numbers. This ain't about that. This is about Esau Edom coming down with great wrath. This is about the times that we're in. All right. It says Washington, D.C. will be liberated today, Trump said Monday on his Truth Social. All right. So, and it says here the declaration also came as administration lawyers were in a courtroom Monday for the first day of trial over the legality of Trump's deployment of the National Guard in California in June amid protests over immigration raids in Los Angeles. Do you see a pattern here? Okay, deploying National Guard, federalizing the DC police, having them run down on Jake in the hood, asking them for ID, making sure they ain't in the place they need to be at a certain time. That's martial law, man. Trump ain't playing no games, man. Yahawashi put the spirit on this man to do this, and this is just the beginning. All right, and we love it. We love to see it. We love to hear it. All right, because it's getting closer and closer and closer to the end. Okay, trying to talk about, this is about, cracking down because a 19-year-old got carjacked. Man, please. This is goddamn liar. So-called white man, nothing but a liar, man. Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. We have already established who the wicked is. Right? The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Soulless man knows how to do his lie. From the womb. In other words, his spirit is set up to be just that. A deceiver, a liar, the wicked. All right. Verse 4, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. That's who this man is described as, a serpent, the serpent. All right. That serpent that was in the garden, that's who this man is. That's who it was talking about. It wasn't a snake. It was a man. And that represents the so-called white man. It says their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. This man is a liar, a deceiver. He's crafty like that, like a serpent. All right? Swoop down on you and bite the shit out of you. That's who this man is. Okay? Now, I was watching a video on this, and I wanted to play this because this man broke down. This man, his name is Professor Wolf. He was going into it, and he's giving more context as to what this is. As you can see, it says Blueprint for Martial Law. And the title of this video is Trump's Police Takeover in DC Isn't Random. It's a blueprint for martial law with Professor Wolf. Okay, so I'm gonna play some of this. I'm gonna play probably about 3 minutes because he says a lot of good stuff in here. All right, and it helps us understand where we're at, where we've been, where we're at, and where we're headed. All right, so I'm gonna play this.
It's the extreme right, and they're doing it. Let's remember, the extreme right, when they had a progressive president like Roosevelt, developed an immense passion for local rights, states' rights, cities' rights, the local. What are they doing now? Running roughshod across states' rights, city. They don't care about any of that. Now that they have the president.
See, running roughshods over city and states' rights, going into cities and federalizing their police, right? sending in the National Guard, right? He did that for the border. Went down there, sent ICE down there, sent his, you know what I mean? Sent the National Guard down there. Trump ain't playing no games. And ultimately, it's Yahawah Shemal Shai not playing games with you niggas, man. And may the Lord bring judgment.
City, well, they don't care about any of that. Now that they have the president and the Supreme Court, they're going to use all of that power that was intended to block the left to destroy not just the left, but the middle, in order to create a theocratic, right-wing, free market loony bin and wait for it to implode, which it will, because we've seen this movie before. So this is the rehab. That's what we're watching. So yeah, it is carrying out, Project 2025, exactly this kind of realignment of social forces. They don't have the courage to talk about fascism yet, although it's coming. They will advocate it, or some metaphor that will stand in for it.
Maybe the P word is just my cross to carry. For over 17 years, I really believe that this was a
metaphor that will stand in for it. But it is remarkable all local democratically elected officers are pushed aside so that the person who was never elected to run the city of Washington, D.C. can do it. And it has all the overtones that we are now smart enough to see. The racial dimension. The poor are disproportionately black in Washington, D.C. Everyone who's ever been there knows that. And the proportion of blacks in the military being brought in is much smaller than what it is in the community that they will be oppressing. All of that is going on. You can see the pandering to, for other people it will be seen as making Washington white again. And that metaphor is a truism about what this is all for. These are steps in moving in that direction. And they have to now be dramatic steps, because the failures of the Trump program are beginning to intrude upon the popular awareness. When he fired an absurd dramatic act, he fires the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
That's all I wanted to play. And there's a couple of things that he said that I wrote down that I want to mention, okay, for this lesson. All right. He said that they don't have. So if you're following the narrative, right, he was basically saying how the power, now that the far right has the power of the president, right, they have the seat of the president and the Supreme Court, they can destroy the ideologies of the middle, of the left, okay, which is the Democrat side, and the middle, okay. And what does that say to you, right? That's full authoritarian. You know what I'm saying? That's some real fascist shit. You know what I'm saying? He said, because he said they don't have the courage to talk about fascism yet, although it's coming, right? So this is Esau slowly taking off that mask and really just coming down with it and coming hard with it, right? Militarizing the police, going into the cities and just saying, look, this is what it's going to be. Your rights aren't a thing. You don't have rights, and this is where it's headed. You don't have any rights. You're not going to be able to sue the police or take them to court. All of that whole the whole idea of that, the concept of that is going to be gone. That's going to be gone with this Trump presidency. This is how this man is moving. All right? Destroying any ideology that doesn't say or doesn't feed the idea that they have full power and full control. Right? You don't get to vote for, any particular law to come into play All right. It's what they say goes. That's what we're headed. All right. He mentioned Project 2025. Right. He mentioned the racial overtones because, as you can see with this here, he going into Jake cities, Jake neighborhoods, man. Those are those racial overtones that are being presented here or being shown here. Because he's been doing it with using ICE to get the northern tribe, the northern kingdoms out of this country. What did he say? Make Washington white again. Right? He want to make this whole country white again. It's not hard to see what's going on. It's not hard to figure out or point out. You know? He mentioned fascism. If you don't know what fascism means, I just went and got a definition out of Google. It says fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, ultra-nationalist political ideology characterized by dictatorial power, forcible suppression of opposition, and strong regimentation of society and the economy. Okay, so this is Esau coming down with great wrath, like an ideology that has a dictator spirit to it. Right? They really don't care about your opinion now. They really don't care about your vote now, but it's an ultra nationalist political ideology. All right? Characterized by dictatorial power. That's what Trump is. He's a dictator. Okay? Forcible suppression of opposition. So when Professor Wolf says this is a move to get rid of the left and the middle, so the left is the exact opposite, the opposition to the right. The middle is those who are just like kind of like, playing the fence, or maybe don't even care, or whatever the case. He getting rid of all of that. You got to be all the way over to the right side. You know what I'm saying? It emphasizes the importance of the nation above individual rights, and that's what they're doing. It emphasizes the importance of the nation above individual rights. This is about straight up white America. It's about United States. Any opinions expressed that are against the United States, against the government, and at this point that are against Israel, right? You can face penalty, fines, jail, or even death. That's where this is headed. Often promoting a sense of national unity and racial purity, man. Come on. Through violence and militarism. All right. And is that not what we're seeing? Doesn't this sound familiar? Doesn't it make sense? This is what's going on. And the professor said they don't have the courage to talk about fascism yet, but it's coming. Trump is building up that courage. He building up that courage, man. It says fascism rejects democracy, liberalism, and socialism, positioning itself on the far right of the political spectrum. All right. So that's just to give an idea. All right. Let's get Revelation 12 and 12 since I quoted it. This is where we're headed. Revelation 12 and 12. This man's about to come. He about to come with it. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Esau, Edom has a short time to rule in the earth. All right. His kingdom is coming to an end. So his spirit is coming now to bring wrath, implement that new world order. Slakia. Job 20 and 5. The triumphing of the wicked is short. The triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite bore for a moment. This is the biggest hypocrite known to man. All right. He has a temporary kingdom. The kingdom under Yahawashi is a everlasting kingdom. Okay? Verse 6, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, because we can see what his power, his rulership have gotten. It is mounted up to the heavens. He has full reign and full control right now. His head reached unto the cloud, and his head got big. Esau's proud as hell. He proud as hell right now. Trump is proud as hell right now. You can't tell him nothing. Okay, it says, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Right? Because he's going to vanish. It says in the NOT, yet they will vanish forever, thrown away like their own dung. Those who knew them will ask, where are they? His rulership has been so overwhelming and overpowering. When the time comes where Esau is done away with, even the other nations are going to be like, what happened to this man? Right? Because again, the Lord is he's not going to have a purpose. He was created to be the wicked. And when the Lord does away with this man, he's not going to have a purpose anymore. So he's not going to be needed in the earth. It's bye-bye forever. Good riddance. All right? And the world will be much better without this devil. Okay? So that's it, man. I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you were edified. If you ain't tapped into what's going on, you better get your head out from from out the clouds, man. Because Esau's coming. All right? And the men of the Lord, the men of great Millstone, starting with the elders and apostles on down, have told you so. The warning is going out. All right? So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, the elder bishops, the great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.